Welcome to Dr. Jester Talks, and I'm gonna talk about the Turkish backstab, or from the war zone. US lumps Turkey with sanctions for purchase of Russia's S-400 air defense system. The move comes after Turkey tests its S-400 surface-to-air missile system, and there could be more consequences to come, and I hope so, because they need to learn. Because, like I said, Turkey loves to backstab you. They backstab every single ally they have. Now, for instance, let's begin with their war against Greece, then the invasion of Cyprus. Then they backstab America on the F-35 program by buying the S-400 air defense system from Russia. Because we all know the Turks cannot be relied on based on previous experiences that they will definitely 100% send the radar signatures and other things from the F-35 to Russia. And we cannot allow that. Not in a good conscience. And then we have when they started being hotshots and started to shoot down Russian airplanes in Syria. And then suddenly Turkey decided to backstab a few of their soldiers on a bridge somewhere in Ankara. No, Constantinople. Oh, sorry, Istanbul. And then they go on and backstab the Russians again with the Azerbaijan and Armenian conflict. Yeah, no, the Turkish backstab. When you think your friend is a friend, it goes and backstabs you, and then goes on become friend of somebody else and backstabs that person too. Let's get back to the article, shall we? The United States has slapped sanctions on the Turkish government top defense procurement and military industrial arm of the country's purchase of the Russian-made S-400 air defense system, as well as targeting important members of the country's defense establishment. There are also provisions that could threaten Turkey's ability to secure future defense-related exports from the United States. Good. Oh, remember, when I talk about Turkish backstab, I'm talking mostly about the government and the Islamic control of the country. I still have kind of some support for their military part, which is almost secular because of the Ataturk approach that they try to make Turkey secular, and some of it still remain in some way, shape or form, but they are mostly a religious dictatorship right now. Anyway, let's keep going. A statement from the US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo earlier today confirmed that the measures were being implemented under Section 231 of the Countering America's Adversaries Through Sanctions Act, or CAATSA. They are all directed against Turkey's presidency of defense industry, known by its Turkish acronym SSB. Among its duties, the SSB helps coordinate defense-related technology transfers and the delivery of foreign-made military hardware, as well as supporting and promoting the work of Turkish defense companies. Oh, I forgot another backstab they did. They backstabbed Israel. Israel used to be pretty friendly with Turkey, but with Erdogan taking power in the mid-noughties, they backstabbed Israel with the flotilla and other things. Let's keep going. Pompeo said that the sanctions were in response to Turkey's knowingly engaging in a significant transaction with Rosoboron Export. Russia's main arms export entity, procuring the S-400 surface-to-air missile, end quote. The US government has long criticized this purchase primarily as presenting a security risk to the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter program, asserting that it could provide the Kremlin with an avenue to acquire sensitive information about the aircraft and its capabilities. This already led to Turkey being ejected from the F-35 program last year. A bit more details onto that. I am 100% supporting of what America did with Trump doing this. He managed to kick out Turkey out of the F-35 program, and better yet, managed to keep the F-35s from being sent to Turkey right around kind of like the last minute thing, because they had already Turkish pilots training on the F-35 in America. And thank goodness that they got kicked out of America and they are not allowed to receive the F-35s anymore. Now, the only thing that America is doing now with the F-35s that was meant for Turkey is that now they are going to adapt it to the requirements of any air force that is going to buy it. For instance, when an air force requires or buys an airplane or things like that, they make specific requests to the manufacturer to install certain instruments, move things here and there. It's kind of a small customization to the airplane, and that's completely normal. That's why it generates certain specific versions to certain specific air forces. Like the Air Force had myriad of variations to fit a pattern for different air forces. One specific F4 for the Germans, specific F4s for the British, specific F4s for the Japanese, and things like that. It's completely and totally normal. There was something else I was going to say, and I forgot. Old age! Let's get back to the article, shall we? Cast, among its many sections, provide an automatic mechanism for placing second-order sanctions on third-party countries that engage with Russia's defense sector. As a means of deterring them from doing so, it is worth noting that the law outlines certain circumstances on which the president can seek to waive these required sanctions. Let's jump. The first S-400 components began to arrive in Murted Air Base outside of the Turkish capital, Ankara, on July 12, 2019. A process that you can read about here. What is currently unclear is why it took so long to trigger the sanctions, considering the S-400 system have been in Turkey for almost 18 months now. This would normally be an automatic process. One explanation might be offered by the US Senator Chris Van Hollen, who released the following statement regarding the sanctions against Turkey. Reportedly pressed Trump administration to put the sanctions in place. So watch President refused to hold Turkey president accountable. I'm glad to see the administration finally imposed this required. Oh, okay, so Chris Van Hollen might be a Democrat, so he's actually blaming Trump for this. For further congressional action, dismissing the clean measures to them, and we will not allow him to undermine our national security and our faithful NATO alliance. Consequently, we will continue working to keep the pressure on Turkey to meet the delegation of security of all members. Alright, let's jump. As well as banning all US export licenses to SSB, the new sanctions also freezes assets and place visa restrictions on the SSB president, Dr. Ismail Demir, together with the selected other SSB officers. Ankara was kicked out of the Joint Strike Program beginning in July 2019, which was also made by Trump pretty fast. Because Trump still had hopes that Turkey will say, no, you can keep those S-400 parts, you can take it back and shove it back to your bunghole, Russia. But they didn't. So he kicked it out of the F-35 program. The process began with the removal of Turkish pilots from the F-35 training program in the United States, barring the country's liaisons from the Central Joint Program. First efforts to cut Turkish out on the international supply chain. Oh yeah, there are certain parts of the F-35 that was manufactured in Turkey due to the program, and part of the reasons why the program existed was because of that. And with that being said, they had to move a few of the parts and programs to other countries, especially America. Let's keep going, shall we? Seeking to distance the sanctions from its erstwhile NATO ally on the plant of the firmly blame firmly on Moscow, instead, today's statement further notes that the United States will not tolerate significant transactions with Russia's defense and intelligence sectors, while Pompeo also calls for Turkey to resolve the S-400 problem immediately in coordination with the United States. With that in mind, the statement concludes by declaring that Turkey is a valued ally and an important regional security partner for the United States, and that the United States hopes to resume productive defense sector cooperations by removing the obstacle of Turkey's S-400 possessions as soon as possible. Furthermore, the United States says that its sanctions are not intended to undermine the military capabilities or combat readiness of Turkey or any other US ally or partner, but rather impose costs on Russia in response to its wide range of malign activities. I'm not going to read all of that. Exactly how the limitations export licenses authorization will manifest themselves is not yet clear, but these aspects of the sanction would appear to threaten future supply of US-made arms to Turkey, potentially including spare parts for its fleet of F-16 fighter jets. For example, there is also a possibility that the restrictions refer only to potential future arms transfers rather than any deals that are currently in process, or those that are handled by the channels other than SSB. As it stands, the wording of the statement gives very little away in this regard. This is completely normal because it's legalese, and they do that a lot. So they can pretty much claim that something can be done while being open-ended. That's why people don't like lawyers and laws. Back in July 2019, we examined reports of how Turkey was stockpiling spare parts for its F-16 as it waited for potential US sanctions expected to follow the delivery of the first S-400 systems. In addition to this, the new round of sanctions, there have also been calls to remove US nuclear weapons from Incirlik Air Base in Turkey. If US lawmakers feel the need to pressure and carry it still further, then this might be one course of action. Suspending joint US-Turkish military maneuvers might be another course of action. As it is, following up on Korea's ejection from the F-35 program with the good measures, it is a clear signal that the United States is willing to enact additional measures to censure Turkey, and there could still be more to come. And I hope so, because Turkey needs to learn a lesson or two about the backstabbing. It's like you're doing, it kind of like a, you know what, it's like you're fucking a woman, and suddenly you realize, wait, she has a dick? And then suddenly you realize that this lady is shoving up a fist up your bunghole. And then you realize, wait, what the fuck is happening? No, this is not happening. Go fuck yourself. That's the kind of deal it is. And then this lady goes on and not only backstab you by shoving a fist up your bunghole, which is something you never requested or accepted, she goes on to another dude and does the same thing to that dude by shoving the same fist on the other dude's bunghole, and without telling the other dude's bunghole that she has a dick. That's the type of deal we're dealing with here. It's definitely not pleasant and something that nobody wants to do, but it needs to be done. So you go on and delete the contact from the phone, block everything from Facebook and etc., and tell them to go fuck themselves. And that's pretty much what is going to happen, and is happening with the American-Turkish relations, and maybe in the future, maybe related with the Armenian-Azerbaijan situation with Russia and Turkey. Because it happened with Turkey and Israel, and you're seeing it happening again. Hey, who knows? Maybe Turkey will end up doing the same thing with Azerbaijan, but then again, Turkey wants to expand and create back the Ottoman Empire, and so their idea to backstab Azerbaijan for now, it's not something they'll be looking forward to, at least in the foreseeable future. But definitely against Russia, yes, I see that coming soon-ish. Anyway, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you want more of my beautiful opinions, and especially my colorful analogies and metaphors. And I'm forgetting something. Oh yes! Don't forget to hit the notification bell button, because you absolutely 100% need to do that. Anyway, thank you for watching. Good night.